Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Neff Torres. I'm a class coordinator for the 358th Basic Training class here at KLETC, and I'm a senior instructor here as well. I now ask you to join me in welcoming today's graduates, the 358th Basic Training class. Members of the 358th Basic Training Class, and ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and direct your attention to the Lawrence Police Department Honor Guard for the presentation of the colors and the playing of our national anthem. Color Guard, please post the colors.
Center, fix. Prepare to post the colors. Post. On the go. Check. Officers. Present. Arch.
You may be seated. Class 358, you may be seated. During your time at KLETC, you've all walked past the Wall of Honor numerous times. The Wall of Honor was designed as a reminder of those graduates who've died in the line of duty. The names and photos of the 32 individuals honored preserve their memories and give family, friends, and law enforcement officers the opportunity to remember those that made the ultimate sacrifice in service of the citizens of Kansas. Please join me in observing a moment of silence to honor those 32 KLETC graduates no longer with us. Thank you. Thank you for being here. It's an honor to stand before you and speak to you about Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center's 358th basic training class. In this profession, we talk a lot about standards, training, discipline, performance. Every class is expected to meet them, but every once in a while, a class raises the bar. The 358 didn't just want to meet the standard, they wanted to become the standard. For 14 weeks, they lived that in every class, in every way in their lives. Early mornings, long days, constant pressure. But what set them apart was not just how they trained, it was how they chose to live this experience. When the training day ended, they chose each other. They studied together so no one fell behind. They supported each other so success was shared. Every single morning, me, silently proud, I watched them assemble in formation at roll call earlier than required. No mandate, no requirement, just a decision to stand together, a decision to show respect for each other, for their team, for their class. That's not compliance. That's pride. It's discipline. That's a team. They held each other accountable. They stepped in when someone struggled. They refused to let anyone fall short. That's what leadership looks like. That's what we try to build here. What you see here today, it's not just a group of students who've completed their graduation requirements. To you, they may look like a class of soon-to-be graduates. To me, they look like a family. Class 358. What you built here is rare, and in this business, you're going to need it because this profession will test you. Lots of time, this profession will give you the test before it gives you the lesson. When it does, don't fall back on words, fall back on what you've built here. So don't leave it behind, carry it with you, carry it forward. Stay connected, stay accountable, take care of each other. Because what you created here is exactly what this profession demands. Class 358, I'm proud of you. Congratulations, stand tall, stay ready, and take care of each other. I will now ask our Director of Basic Training, Jeff Oslin, to introduce today's guest speaker.
Brandon Johnson served as Wichita District #1 council member from 2017 to 2025. A Wichita native, Johnson grew up in the area he has represented. The Northwest High School graduate became involved in community work as a young leader, and his passion for bettering the community around him never faded. His efforts included more than 10 years of advocating for economic development through youth employment, job creation, social services, and community education. In 2011, Johnson created the nonprofit organization Community Operations Recovery Empowerment, known as CORE. Through CORE, Johnson has helped foster dialogue between law enforcement and residents through a series of Know Your Rights forums, as well as hosted several community conversations focused on how to end gang violence and involvement and champion health and wellness through the development of community gardens with produce being distributed to bordering neighborhoods. Johnson is the current commission chairperson for the Kansas Commission of Peace Officer Standards and Training. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome to the podium Mr. Brandon Johnson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was told I had an hour, so bear with me. To our distinguished guests, KLETC leadership, instructors, families, friends, most importantly, the graduates seated before us, today is a day of achievement. It's a day earned through long hours, early mornings, difficult training, personal sacrifice, and the support of people who believed in you even when the road was hard. You did not arrive here by accident. You arrived here because you made a decision to serve something greater than yourself. To the families and loved ones, thank you, because you also have carried a part in this journey as well. To the graduates, congratulations. You have earned the right to wear the badge. But today, I also want to speak to you plainly about what that badge means, because you're entering law enforcement at a complicated time in our nation's history. We don't have to look very far to see that America is divided. We see division in politics and communities, neighborhoods, online. Please don't read the comment sections. Around dinner tables, even sometimes with our own families. People are often quicker to assume bad intentions. They're slower to listen. Too often we reduce one another to labels before we take the time to learn one another's stories. And that division doesn't disappear when someone calls 911. It doesn't disappear when you step out of a patrol car. In fact, you'll often meet people at the exact moment when fear, anger, grief, addiction, trauma, or frustration has reached a breaking point. You'll also be asked to bring calm into chaos, order into confusion, and dignity into situations where dignity may already feel lost. That's why your role is so important. Law enforcement is not only about enforcing the law, it's about protecting the conditions that allow a free society to function. Safety, trust, fairness, peace, and the belief that every person matters under the law. There will be days when people misunderstand you. There will be days when they judge the uniform before they know the person wearing it. There will be days when criticism feels unfair and the weight of the job feels heavy. But remember this, you don't control every opinion about law enforcement. You do control the way you carry yourself, the way that you speak, the way that you listen, the way you make decisions, and the way that you treat people. The role of law enforcement is to protect life, uphold the Constitution, enforce the law, and serve the public with courage and restraint. It's to stand between harm and the vulnerable. It is to respond when others cannot, and it's to make decisions in seconds that could be examined for years to come. It's to do the hard things without becoming hardened to humanity. And also, to be clear, the badge doesn't place you above the community, it binds you to the community. The badge is not permission to be distant from people, it's a responsibility to be present for them. The best officers understand that authority and humility must travel together. And communities are safest when people trust that officers will be fair, honest, professional, and consistent. And trust is not built by a slogan, it is built interaction by interaction. It's built in the traffic stop where you explain what you're doing. It's built in the domestic call where you remain calm. It's built when you give someone a voice, even when you cannot give them the answer that they want. It's built when people see that you are firm when necessary, compassionate when possible, and respectful always. In a divided country, law enforcement officers can become bridges. You will meet people across differences of race and income, age, belief, politics, and life experience. And your challenge is to see the person before you see the problem. And that doesn't mean being naive. It does not mean ignoring danger. It does not mean failing to enforce the law. It means remembering that professionalism is not weakness, and that respect is not weakness. Patience is not weakness. Self-control is not weakness. These are all strengths. These are all survival skills. These are all leadership skills. And today, I want to also encourage you to embrace accountability, not as a burden, but as a foundation of honor. Accountability is what keeps authority from becoming arrogance. Accountability is what keeps power connected to purpose. And accountability is what protects the public, protects your department, protects your partners, and protects your own integrity. Be accountable in the small things. Be accountable in the hard moments. If you make a mistake, own it. If you see another officer drifting towards poor judgment, have the courage to speak up. Loyalty does not mean silence when silence would allow harm. True loyalty is helping one another stay worthy of the trust the public has placed in you. There is a phrase often heard in this profession: integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching. And that's true, but in today's world, as many of us know, many times somebody is watching. A body camera is watching. A cell phone might be watching. A neighborhood might be watching. A child may be watching. And sometimes the person watching most closely is the future version of yourself, asking whether you honored the oath that you took. The public should have high standards from law enforcement because the authority entrusted to you is significant. And you should expect high standards from yourself because you choose a profession built on trust. As a new officer, know that you can lead from day one. You can lead with your attitude. You can lead with your discipline. You can lead by refusing to become cynical. You lead by remembering names, listening before judging, and treating every call as important to the person who made it. Lead with courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing what duty requires while fear is present. You'll need physical courage, but you'll also need moral courage. The courage to tell the truth, to admit when you do not know, to ask for help, and to challenge behavior that does not reflect the values of this profession. Lead with restraint. The law gives you authority, but wisdom teaches you how to use it. Not every situation requires the same response. Not every person in crisis is your enemy. Not every insult deserves your reaction. And the ability to remain calm when others are not calm may be one of your greatest tools. Lead with humanity. The people you encounter may be at their worst moment. Some will be afraid. Some will be angry. Some will be grieving. Some will be dangerous. Some will be lost. And your job is not to excuse harmful behavior, but neither is it to forget that every person you meet is more than the worst thing that they have done or the worst day that they are having. Lead with unity. You cannot heal every division in this country, but you can refuse to deepen it. You can choose words that de-escalate instead of inflame. You can build relationships before crisis hits. You can be the officer who is known not only for being tough when necessary, but fair always. And lead with accountability. Ask yourself often, did I honor my oath today? Did I treat people with dignity? Did I make my partner better? Did I make my department stronger? Did I make my community safer? If the answer is yes, keep it going. And if no, go ahead and correct course. Do not let the oath that you will take become merely words spoken at a ceremony. Let it become a daily practice. Let it guide you when the call is routine and when it's dangerous. Let it guide you when people praise you and when they criticize you. Let it guide you when you are tired, frustrated, or tempted to take the easy path instead of the right one. Graduates, you are stepping into a profession where your choices will absolutely matter. Your words will matter. Your presence will matter. Your restraint will matter. Your courage will matter. And your accountability will matter. There will be people you help who may never know your name. There will be harm prevented that no one else will see. And there will be lives changed because you arrived, because you listened, because you acted, and because you cared. That is the quiet nobility of this profession. So I want to encourage you to go forward with courage, go forward with humility, go forward with the confidence that your training has prepared you, and the wisdom to know that your learning has only begun, and to be guardians of safety, be builders of trust, be examples of accountability, be the kind of officers who help a divided nation remember that order and justice, strength and compassion, law and humanity can still stand together. Again, congratulations to the graduates. May you serve well, lead well, and remain worthy of the badge that you now carry. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those encouraging words for these new officers. As a token of our appreciation, we'd just like to give you this slight gift just to kind of say thank you for what you've done. Hopefully you can use that pen to write the next speech when you come back to KLETC. Again, thank you so much again for your time. Appreciate it.
Just taking a second to look at these guys. It's going to be the last time I get to see them together. Sounds kind of silly, but it's kind of tough. I kind of like these guys. I'm going to miss them. Hey, at KLETC, We recognize those students who've excelled in various professional skills during their basic training. The 358th basic training class understood the importance of fitness being a key component in an officer's life. It helps them deal with daily stress, things that they'll face, and it aids them in maintaining a healthier lifestyle, enabling them to better mitigate the dangers that they may encounter. During their time here at KLETC, all members of the 358th were active and engaged in a fitness routine. The 358th had one student officer meet the goals of the 200-mile club. Let me tell you what that is. To be recognized as a member of the 200-mile club, the student officer must have completed 30 push-ups in a minute, 30 sit-ups in a minute, run a mile and a half in 18 minutes or less. Additionally, they must have logged 200 miles or more outside of classroom activities. I would like to ask the following student to stand to be recognized for being a member of the 200-mile club. Joseph Peltz of the Kansas State University Police Department. Officer Peltz, please join me at the podium. Congratulations. Let me tell you why he earned that. Officer Peltz is being awarded the fitness medal for his intense work over the past 14 weeks. Along with exceeding other physical requirements for the 200-mile challenge, Officer Peltz completed an impressive 238 miles, along with exceeding all those other challenge requirements. For your hard work, Officer Peltz, you're awarded the fitness medal for the most miles. KLETC also recognizes those students who've excelled in all areas during their time here. Student officers who've achieved the following criteria will be graduating with honors. 90% or greater overall written test GPA, 90% or greater written final exam score, 90% or greater overall performance test GPA, 90% or greater overall performance final testing score, and a minimum of 100 miles walking or running or 400 miles of biking. Today, we have one student who met the goals to graduate with honors. Officer Daytona Lutz of the Marion Police Department, please join me at the podium. With his permission, of course, I'll tell you what he scored. Officer Lutz achieved a 94% grade point average, distinguishing himself among his peers. You may be seated. It's now time for the class president to deliver a few brief remarks on behalf of the graduating class. Ladies and gentlemen, the 358th Basic Training Class President, Cody Presley of the Waukene Police Department.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center. The 358th Basic Training Class would like to thank you for attending this ceremony today. I'd like to take this time to acknowledge some people who made this ceremony possible. I'd like to thank my classmates for standing firm throughout this journey and never backing down from any adversity we've faced throughout these 14 weeks. I'd like to thank the KLETC staff for putting their undivided attention and true passion for this profession into our daily training. I'd also like to thank all of you here today. The wives, the fiancés, the significant others, the parents, the children, our friends, our agencies who stood by our side through the short weekends, the late night phone calls, and the feeling of wondering if the distance from home life would ever come to an end. I truly believe that without your unconditional support, none of us would be standing up here today. Over the past 14 weeks, every one of us in Class 358 has been tested in ways we never expected. There were early mornings when we were exhausted before the day even started. There were long hours in the classroom, difficult scenarios on the mats, and exhausting days on the range. There were times where we questioned ourselves mentally and physically. But despite all that, this class continued to move forward. We learned that success in this profession is not built on comfort. It's built on discipline, sacrifice, and the willingness to keep going even when things become difficult. One thing I realized throughout this academy is that every person standing up here today came from a different walk of life. Some of us came from larger departments, and some from smaller communities. Some of us had prior experience, while others entered this profession completely new. But despite all of our differences, we all shared one common thing. We answered the call to serve something greater than ourselves. In a world that often feels divided, we chose a profession centered around service, protection, and responsibility. That decision alone speaks volumes about the character of the people standing before you today. I would like to discuss with you all today the meaning of purpose. Purpose, in the dictionary, is defined as the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. Today, I'd like to discuss how purpose can have a deeper meaning. For the cops in the room, I'm sure many of you have heard that law enforcement was your calling, or that you have a type A personality and you'll fit right in. But these explanations don't fully align with purpose. I believe purpose is something that you have no control over. No matter how hard you try to run from it, it will always be at the front door, reminding you of what's intended for your life. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." I believe this applies to law enforcement because no matter how much we've been told that we might not be successful in this career, or on the flip side, how good we could be in this career, at the end of the day, it was all background noise compared to the overwhelming feeling of purpose that stands behind the badge. This purpose was not created or manufactured. This feeling of purpose has always been there. It's always been knocking at the door, waiting for you to decide to answer it. For many of us, that purpose started long before this academy. Maybe it started as a kid watching officers in your hometown. Maybe it came from a moment where someone helped you or your family when you needed it most. Maybe it came through hardship, adversity, or life experiences that shaped who you are today. However it began, it brought every one of us here together. When you finally decide to open the door to your purpose, there is also another thing that follows. What I'm talking about is complacency. Just like purpose, complacency waits in the shadows for an opportunity to pull you away from who you are called to be. Complacency can hide itself in many ways. Sometimes it looks like laziness. Sometimes it looks like negativity, burnout, or losing compassion for the people we serve. Sometimes it comes from seeing too much darkness in the world and slowly allowing the darkness to change who you are. But what complacency can never do is strip you of what you've been called to do. To my fellow deputies and officers in Class 358, I ask that when times become tough, when life becomes heavy, when complacency comes knocking at the door, and when it feels like as if you can't escape the weight of the world around you, remember your purpose. Remember why you started. Remember the people who believed in you before you believed in yourself. Remember the families sitting in this room today who sacrificed alongside you to make this moment possible. Something greater than us has called us to be the peacemakers, to be the sheepdogs in our communities, and to be the light that shines during dark times. That purpose does not end today at graduation. In many ways, it's only beginning. As we leave here and begin our careers, I ask that we never stop learning, never stop growing, and never allow ourselves to become complacent. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, lean on your fellow officers when times become difficult, stay humble enough to keep learning, and strong enough to keep moving forward. And above all else, always make it back home to those who made today possible. Thank you.
Officer Presley, it's my pleasure on behalf of KLETC's administration and staff to present you with this plaque as an appreciation and recognition for being the 358th Basic Training Class President. I hope you'll display it proudly. Congratulations. In law enforcement, ethics is at the forefront of training, and it's everywhere in our profession. The law enforcement oath of office affirmation is a constant reminder of the importance of always doing the right thing. This is something we've discussed in depth during our time here at KLETC. The ultimate purpose of law enforcement is public service. A law enforcement officer assumes great responsibility when they affirm the oath of office. They have entered the position of being role models, leading by example. They are enforcers of the law and protectors over our communities. I will now ask Class President Cody Presley to lead the class in reciting the law enforcement oath of office affirmation.
"358th Basic Training Class, please stand. Oath. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of Kansas, my community, and the agency I serve. Recover. Please be seated.
In a few moments, you'll be presented with a challenge coin. A challenge coin is symbolic and it's meaningful, and it's given to someone as a reminder of what they've done or to confirm membership in an organization. This coin today will recognize you as a graduate of KLETC. I ask that you carry it with you as a reminder of the lessons learned and the friendships forged during your time here at KLETC. On the back of this coin is the oath that each of you affirmed moments ago. Carry it with you and let it be a constant reminder to always do the right thing. Graduates, Class 358, it's truly been my honor. And it's been a real pleasure, a sincere pleasure to be your class coordinator, and also just to be a tiny part of your journey. Thank you for letting me share your time here at KLETC. I wish you nothing but success and happiness in the future. I'll now ask KLETC Associate Director of Basic Training, Jeff Osland, to present the members of the 358th Basic Training Class with their certificates. Class President Cody Presley will announce the names.
Front row, please stand. Eliason Black, Wyandotte County Sheriff's Office. Corey Duft, Larned Police Department. Nicholas Aravelli, Salina Police Department. Kevin Falcone, Ottawa County Sheriff's Office. Jared Freed, El Dorado Police Department. Zachary Frost, Baxter Springs Police Department. Jessica Heil, Hayesville Police Department. Front row, please return to your seats. Please be seated. Second row, please stand. Gavin Lee, Ottawa Police Department. Jordan Lynn, Coffeyville Police Department. Joel Lopez Hernandez, Liberal Police Department. Alex Lovell, Baxter Springs Police Department. Fabian Loya, Norton Police Department. Daytona Lutz, Marion Police Department. Timothy Matson, Liberal Police Department. Gavin McLean, Ottawa Police Department. Second row, please return to your seats. Please be seated. Third row, please stand. Juan Monreal Alvarado, Gray County Sheriff's Office. Joseph Peltz, Kansas State University Police Department. Braden Perez, Ottawa County Sheriff's Office. Colby Pacini, Pittsburgh Police Department. Francis Pierre, Merriam Police Department. Aaron Slate, Fredonia Police Department.
And Cody Presley of the Wakini Police Department. Third row, please return to your seats. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, first off, I just want to say to everyone, thank you for coming and supporting these officers as they begin this journey in this hopefully long, long career of serving their communities. We want to thank all of our law enforcement partners that could make it today. Appreciate your support and all the good vibes that you're always sending our way and helping us out by sending us this great officers to train. We really appreciate that. 358th, please stand. On behalf of Director of Police Training and Vice Provost Darren Beck, I hereby certify that each of you have completed all the requirements to become a police officer in the state of Kansas. And let me be the first to congratulate you and to welcome you to the police and sheriff and law enforcement family of Kansas. Congratulations. And you can leave now. Yeah, we're good.